Start.
I already started. I hit live.
Oh, so the whole internet is gonna hear this. Excellent. I was going through old pictures
will
on
turn
Facebook.
this entire
And-
campaign around, and I will introduce a dragon that will attack Iman right now if this
Not
conversation
again!
goes on.
So, Rhodes, do you remember? I don't remember if it was.
You guys feel
Homecoming or
rumbling
a
under
spring,
your feet.
that all of the guys wore black and everybody matched
Thordax,
except Cujo.
Crater
Wore that blue
explodes as
blazer
Thordax
and
makes his
khakis.
appearance again.
He was like Jake from
I don't
State
know
Farm.
if I remember this.
All right, I'll send you a picture. But I came across it the other day, and Cujo reminded me of Ted Mosby.
I'm so glad we went live on
All
that.
right.
I'm so
That's
glad.
fair. That's fine. Let's do that now. Right
Okay.
before the session starts. That's a great plan.
It's fine. We have Pike.
You looked classy. You had like the college professor look going on.
Yeah, and
The
you
college
had the...
professor Ted Mosby.
Yeah. You looked like Professor Mosby.
Internet, are you here with us?
I think so. What are they,
Unfortunately.
ghosts? Is this the Thea?
I mean,
It's about
Hello,
to be for
everyone.
Dermot.
That can
welcome
be a
to
thing.
Let's Kill Dustin's character, aka
Aw.
Decisions and Dragons.
Ooh,
Yeah,
you'll
like
have to
that
answer
wasn't the name
Faraday
of the
for that
game
one.
already.
She's already planning for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got plans.
Dustin, make a Constitution saving throw. Not Dermot, Dustin.
Now we're definitely live.
I did not pour myself enough wine. I didn't pour myself any wine, actually.
I got bad news. I rolled
Ooh.
a 5.
Definitely not enough then.
Yeah, I know.
This is not helping your case about being Professor Mosby, by the way.
Okay. So, when last we left off, our intrepid heroes had completed their journey back to Iman, gathering some information, having a little friendly sparring match on the deck of Lady DeRollo's airship. You had a few conversations with Gilmore about this stranger that seemed to be staying in his shop in Iman. Making your way to the shop with him, you came upon Kalia, who Gilmore had admitted looked very different from the last time he had saw her, which was in the plane or world of Bivin. Through some arcane influence and through a use of the major restoration or greater restoration spell, you were able to restore, seemingly, Kalia's memory of her former life, in which she began shifting into a werewolf out of terror. You managed to calm her down, and her transformation was halted, and she had stated that she did not know where she was. That is where we left off. Kalia, standing from the position up against the window, you can see her stance went from poise and grace to almost like a warrior's gait as she stares down all of you with surprising intensity and says, "What happened? How did I end up here?"
I look at Gilmore.
We were kind of hoping you could tell us that.
Gilmore says, "Darling, to put it simply," and you see Kalia turn and go, "Ugh." He goes, "All right, well, happy to see your memory is returned to you. You're in Exandria. This is my home. I had left before it seemed the Whispered One had begun his invasion. Can you tell us anything that's going on in Bivin, as now Exandria is experiencing some invasion, as it were, from some of the darker forces in your homeland?"
Kudo,
Yes.
Is there anyone other than us? Like, you said that there was a dwarf?
Yes, there is
employee?
a dwarf arcanist of some kind who is passed out in like the conjuration section. He's got a big crate of items, wands, necklaces, books, that sort of thing, that he is essentially snuggled up against. This is what happens when you put the shitty employee in charge of the store. And the only other person in the store is Pike, who is enamored with a mace that she sees hung up on the wall. And she actually just picks it up and starts swinging it around. Actually,
She's gonna knock something over.
she swings, you just hear a crash, and then you see her scramble and like set something back up. And then she just sort of hides behind the thing. Kalia says, "It didn't take long for whoever it was to amass the army of monsters and destroy our home. Althea, from what I remember, is still in one piece, but Delita is gone. The entire Crown City reduced to rubble. There were neighboring kingdoms that sought to shore up their defenses, but unfortunately, very slowly and painfully succumbed to the same fate. There are distant lands. I've never been there, but apparently there is hope that maybe there is some sort of civilization left, but the survivors and their settlements are few and far in between. Any that are well known are now serving whatever Dark Lord has taken over our world. I remember keeping my queen safe, but our caravan was ambushed and I was captured. I believe she got away safely, but I don't know to where. I was brought to some arcane laboratory where they were experimenting with that, and you see she points at she actually points at the circle of Greater Restoration on the ground, and she's, well, something like that. I don't typically do with the yes. There were a few others in the room, and they would activate this circle and push us in. When I arrived, I was somewhere south, I believe, wandering through the wilderness. And it didn't take long before I could feel my memories and my knowledge shifting. And I don't know how to explain it, but somehow, through fate's cruel joke, I wound up believing that I was apparently some sort of arcane practitioner and your business partner, which, no thank you. And Gilmore says, no offense taken. So these others you saw, they were other survivors? And then you hear another crash, and Pike goes, sorry! And Gilmore,
if there were others that came through this portal, for lack of a better term, are these people that we could find? Would these be people we want to find? And just kind of look at the rest of the group.
First, before we go forward, you see he waves his hands, and you see the curtains close on the windows. and you hear him say, "I'm going to see Kalia. I'm going to assume you want something different than your current outfit. I will find you something suitable." And you see he steps away, and just you hear him say, "Pike, put that down." But you are left with Kalia, who is kind of not covering up like I'm ashamed of myself, more like picking at the dress that she's wearing and judging it a little.
Like, who in their right mind would leave the house like this? It provides no protection at all.
Where
Yes.
did I even get this?
I mean, I could understand, actually. And she just reaches down and tears a slit in the side of the dress. So it goes up to her thigh, and she says, "Now I can move around. Now this is more fitting."
It's a perfectly lovely dress. You had excellent taste.
I don't like dresses
To each their own.
at all. She just awkwardly stares at Thurston like, "Who the fuck are you?"
When, from your perspective, now that you have all of your memories intact, how long ago did you come here? Did you go through that portal?
I believe it was about a month and a around a month, I believe. The memory is a little foggy. Still, I'm sure it will come to me, but it is weird losing your sense of self. It is your very concept of being is completely rewritten, and your mental priorities shift. It feels
I can
wrong.
only imagine how disorienting all of this is.
Very.
Terrifying.
It's-
Losing yourself?
I kind of give Arathea like a sharp glance, like that kind of word choice is not helping.
She just looks oblivious.
Of course you are.
Love
And
it.
that's why we love you. Damn it. I
mean, I think we've been through the shop a few times in the last several months. So I feel like we could probably narrow down the when based on when we went through, and, well, she was not here. And it was only a couple weeks, I think. So somewhere in that, it's about 6 to 8 weeks.
yeah. And you were just wandering through the wilderness.
I do well away from big cities. I don't.
Well, I mean, would it be possible to, for you to remember exactly where that was to be able to lead us there? I mean, if someone's ability to create a portal like this could be very problematic, regardless of what side they're on. But if we could go to the site of where that portal opened, we could find a clue to how it was done or who done it.
Well, I guess it would depend on if it's a one-way only thing.
Gilmore
Would
showed
there
up in
even-
the south too, though, right?
Gilmore came through in the south as well.
That's also where he went in.
Actually, no, he came out. No, he came out at up near Whitestone. Is what he said. Up
He
in
went
that.
in the south.
He went in down south. That's where he uncovered activated. He fucked around with something down there,
He found out.
He did,
We
yeah.
found out.
Leave it to Gilmore.
So I guess it could be the same portal.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Portals and things like that aren't quite in my wheelhouse.
Well, that would make sense if he activated a rune. Because he showed up in the graveyard in Whitestone.
He showed up in the graveyard, but when he came through that time, he kind of made his own way back.
Right.
So he wasn't going through something already established. This sounds like something old that was reconnected. And he was, well, trying to turn it off when everything went bad.
Yeah.
Would we have
Regard-
known any stories or anything like that? I'll make a history check if you want. Would we have known any stories or anything like that of like rumors of beasts that were unknown to the lands coming through down the south, or anything otherwise like suspicious that could be attributed to, and what area?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make me a history check.
Um, 9.
9. With a 9, you don't really recall any stories of beasts necessarily. However, with a 9, I will say that there is one thing that comes to mind. And it's actually something you had encountered while in Whitestone. It is that gun, Ataraxia, and the gnome that you had dealt with. Or halfling? Gnome.
No.
Initially, when you had found that gun, the script was written backwards. So you don't necessarily hear of anything coming from the south, but as you're kind of trying to think of other things that had possibly come through, that comes to mind.
I'll look at Kalia and say, do you have any idea what ataraxia means?
There was some pompous elf, if I recall. Military. She called that. She had this gun, I believe, this firearm, she would refer to it as that. I briefly interacted with her, as she is not my kind of company.
Do you know what type of gun it was? Did she hold it in her hand? Was it large?
I believe it was smaller. At
Not
least-
hold up my hands. Is it like...
Yes, that size.
Do we still have that gun?
No.
No. I gave it to the guards in Whitestone.
But that means we know who does have it. If it hasn't been destroyed yet.
Oh, I'm sure it hasn't been destroyed. Mysterious guns.
You think they took it to Lord Derolo?
I would assume
I'd
so.
assume. I would think anyone who rules a city would be concerned about odd guns showing up in their city and want to, at the very least, do some research and try and determine where it came from and who might have that kind of technology. That's not common.
You remember the elf's name that wielded this weapon?
I don't, unfortunately. She had white hair. She didn't seem like much of a people person. Very military-minded. I got that vibe and I decided to go another way. Who are you all, by the way? I remember
Apologies.
briefly interacting under the weird, not me, You said you were going to find Gilmore. My apologies. Who are you?
No need to apologize.
I look at Cad and say, we're the Raven's flock. And, like, give Cad, like, a glance of, yes? Workshop in the title? Kind of a little bit more concise.
You say that Thurston turns forward. I'm Lord Thurston Dollard. She sticks out his hand. Like, I don't know where that name came from.
Like, it's the first handshake she's gotten in a while. She just kind of, like, awkwardly reaches out.
Kermit and I were just chatting about possible names for the group when we were on watch together recently. I'm Cadriel, and I hold out my hand as well.
Same situation. You get the weirdest handshake in response.
And I just say, and I've met the hollow end of that gun that you were just telling me about.
She was also pushed through.
Well, the woman that shot me was a gnome. I don't know where she got it from, but she had been stealing things from people, so I can only assume that it was stolen from its original owner, but it had the word ataraxia engraved on it, backwards script, and
It was an Elvish. I remember when we were looking at it that even though it was backwards and kind of inverted, we did recognize the language.
right, but it wasn't an elf that shot me.
No. But it makes sense if an elf owned it, named it.
Right, I think it was stolen from you.
Oh, I'm sure it was. Considering she tried to steal your stuff too.
Yeah, well, she didn't get very far there.
Well, and your name? I apologize. And she turns towards Arthea.
Arthea. I've actually seen quite a bit of your world. Not on purpose, but kind of in passing. Some of the places you mentioned sound more familiar than they should. I'm sorry.
Well, it's not your fault. It is the horde of monsters and their master's fault. Tell me, are they here, or are they, have they sent anybody to cause any further issue? I know Gilmore mentioned that there was some people in the service of the villain.
I guess two that we know of,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Though neither of them are a threat any longer.
Good.
But if there were two sent, presumably there were others. Sounds like there was some kind of, I don't know, experimenting with sending things through.
It is going to take me some time to get the specifics in my mind again, but that is the majority of what I know. And you are? And she looks towards Faraday.
Faraday.
Nice to meet you. And she glances at your hand as you had run along the whip.
Just kind of like.
She does that. You get used to it, oddly enough.
Like a
Yes.
scrap of cloth out of my bag and just like it's Faraday.
The first few times is definitely the most painful. But then after that, it gets a little bit easier to adapt to the hemocraft that is involved with invoking a Crimson Rite.
You practice.
I do. I have become, I suppose you could call it. I was not aware in this world there were such as you.
There are a few of us.
Interesting. Some things apparently don't change between strange lands. And as she says that, Gilmore walks out, holding like a suit of leather armor, and like a traveler's cloak, and just says, "Darling, I've gathered these together for you. There is a changing room if you would like. Don't worry, no peeping toms will be involved. But I can set this in there and lead you back there if you like." And Kalia says, "That would be nice. Yeah. If you'll excuse me, I need to get into something more comfortable." And she walks with Gilmore to the dressing room. Pike peeks from around the corner and says, "What the fuck is going on?"
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
So, the short version.
I'm just kidding. I was just sort of an exclamation. I remember hearing the whole thing at the Dawn Marshal's court. I just wanted to see how you'd react to it. That was kind of funny.
You were messing around with stuff. I didn't know if you were paying attention.
I mean, I'm not that laser focused on loot. I'm not my husband.
I just more figured you were focused a little more on the sheer destruction of the row of maces.
Yeah, it's nice. I kind of feel like I should maybe touch base with Scanlan. This whole thing is a little creepy.
Again? Didn't you just call him before?
Yeah, but now after hearing about what's her name, I want to just touch base and make sure he's all good.
That's fair.
Um,
Well, if you'd still like to go to Western with us, I think we're planning on leaving in the morning.
okay,
Yes.
that'll be good. Let me just touch base with him and see if he's there, wherever the fuck he is. Give me a little bit. Sorry, guys. And she steps outside the shop, and you see she's clutching her holy symbol as she does.
Should we ask Kalia if she wants to come to Westrun? I feel like she would get on with Irid really well.
So,
I was
I
thinking
Probably.
the same.
I have 2 questions. First question, if there are more people that came through this portal, do we need to find them and restore their memories?
Ow.
Well, I mean,
Well, that kind of relates to my second question. Why did we need to restore Kalia's memory? The evil dude on the mountain and his girlfriend clearly didn't have their memories rearranged when they came through. Why?
I assume it's, from what little we know thus far, I assume it probably has to do with at least some sort of innate magical ability. Gilmore went through the other side and is a powerful enough magician that he didn't suffer the effects. The 2 people we fought, powerful magicians, and could fight off the effects.
he said he did, and he said he did feel them.
Mm-hmm.
It was still there. It took practice, I think, to kind of adapt to living in that world, but still retaining his sense of self from this one.
Or maybe just understanding that you're going willingly versus unwillingly. If you stepped through willingly, you know to keep your faculties. If you step through unwillingly, you don't know what's happening in order to be paying attention to that. I don't know. There's a lot of options, but
She also said that she was experimented on before she was
Yeah.
shoved through the portal.
So there could be that. I mean, we're assuming they all came through the same way, which they may not have. But if there are others, I think, I don't know how we would find them. I guess. Well, I guess if she can give a description, you can scry on people, Dermot.
Uh, kind of. I can try, sort of.
You just want to go around restoring
No.
memories?
But it'd be good to know if there were others, whomever they are.
And if these are all people from Bivin, one of them might have information that we can actually use.
So we don't know.
The issue that I have right now is that this is all very fascinating and concerning, but it's a lot of more questions without any plan to answer them.
Not wrong.
After a few more moments, Gilmore returns and says, "May I present, in all of her barbarian glory, Kalia." And Kalia returns, this time wearing leather armor with a little tunic underneath. She has a battle axe slung over her back, and her hair, which was long and sort of silky and had a nice little wave to it, has now been completely redone in like tight, almost cornrows, like dreadlocks, and tied up. So there's just this almost explosion of hair coming out from behind her. And she has done away with all of the makeup that was on her face, accentuating the Goliath tribal tattoos on her skin. The scars on her form are much more visible, as it was clear in the before time. She was trying some sort of cover-up method. Now she wears them proudly.
Rhodes and Thurston are curious how she braided her hair that quickly. It's
Gilmore just goes,
Gilmore needs to teach me that. Teach Rhodes.
Is that a thing? I need to learn how to. I need to learn how to use my magic that way.
"Oh, don't worry. It's a little bit of prestidigitation combined with some minor telekinetic a bit. It's fine. There's a lot of different things involved." And Kalia says, "Much better. I do apologize for not providing a lot. That's all I really know right now. But you were a part of restoring my memory, and if it means that you have information on who it is that is causing all of the trouble, I would like to help in any way I can. Because, well, to be honest, I owe a lot of those fucks a blade in the neck."
Sounds like we're on the same page.
Would you want to? We're going to be leaving in the morning for Westrun, which is where some of our friends are. I think you'd get on with, well, at least one of them.
Westrun.
Yes.
Got it. I think my prior knowledge that is in the east. Yes?
Where we first met you in Gilmore Shaw.
The first-
Right. Sounds wonderful. It's all so confusing. And you can see that while she is upright and while she is speaking and while she is herself again, there are still moments where she kind of like shakes off, almost like a haze that's just got a grip on her, and she's just having a little bit of difficulty still trying to convey everything that she remembers.
You'll have to tell us. I guess. I don't know. I don't know if the restoration will last. We've never actually tried that before. So, if things start to seem odd again, just
I will
let
let
us
you know. I'm hoping to not return to that nightmare that I was in.
You weren't a well. It was a nightmare, but you weren't. You were very lovely.
Thank you. And she says that like low key, like, okay, that does feel kind of nice being told that.
I lean over to Faraday and go, do you think she actually just meant the dress?
If it's how I feel about dresses, baby.
I mean, they're not my favorite. They're a little hard to move in, but they're really good for hiding swords.
Pike steps back in at this point and says, okay, I touched base with Scanlan. I told him to head to Quincy's, well, what's now the empty bar, but where Quincy's used to be, so that I can meet with him tomorrow, or whenever we get to Western, I suppose, because we can't teleport. Jesus. Man, you know, it's
sorry
weird.
about
We
that.
rely on that a little too heavily, and now it's like a trial having to walk everywhere.
The worst.
Welcome to slumming it with the low levels.
I mean,
Well, if it makes you
could.
feel any better,
We have
we
7
do
horses.
own a fleet of horses, but we have to get to Western first.
Yeah, but they're also in Western.
We're also in Western.
So
Oh,
wait,
good.
so we have to get more horses here.
I was thinking
Sure.
carts.
Well, but yes, but they have to be
But
pulled by
yes.
something.
Mm-hmm. We need
How
two.
many? Okay.
We would need.
And we're
at least
sure we
4
can't just
horses?
teleport. We don't want to chance that. Like, were we really sure?
Do you think we'll be able to?
I'd look at Arthea and say, do you think you can reliably do that?
I would say if all of us are
Wow,
going together as
That's
a
really
group,
insulting.
and if we have enough arcane reinforcement to ensure that the spell does work the way it should, it'd be a little cramped, but it's possible we could make it through. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
We take Kalia home.
Kalia
We get
says, I mean,
stuck?
it wouldn't be the worst thing if it means that I get one step closer to killing some of those fucks, then that works for me.
Yeah, no offense though. From what I hear, Kalia's home seems like kind of a dump right now,
Mhm.
and I'm not about that quite yet.
There was a very
Kalia
nice tavern.
stares daggers at Dermot.
There was a very nice tavern that was still standing last time we passed through.
What tavern?
Blackwater.
Of course it's still standing. Marie made sure to secure that place nice and tight. An earthquake could go underneath the tavern, and it would remain standing.
Do they
Actually,
serve good
kind
drinks?
of looked like
That doesn't
looked
sound
like an
like a problem.
earthquake had gone off. So maybe not far from the truth.
Well, it did used to serve drinks.
You know, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to get a second look at the place anyway, if it does happen. Third look,
The bad plan.
well, like 5th look for me.
5th look for you.
Well, let's
you know-
not purposefully stay.
Oh
Well,
no, I'm
of course not.
I'm not saying we I don't even know if I could do that. I don't think I could. But it's an option if we want to try it. I don't really know what the chances are that it will work.
Pike
50,
says-
50?
I think that's still a bad idea.
Here's the thing. It's not that bad of an idea. If information's what you're looking for about this Bivin, then it's not actually that bad of a plan to go look at. Problem is, if Gilmore and Kalia both felt this shift happen, I mean, how long do you think you guys would last before you kind of succumb to what Kalia did?
No, the last time we were in there, I started feeling it too.
Me too.
See? Bad idea.
Did we all feel that?
Yes.
For a moment, I was then more focused on trying to help restore the.
You didn't see what was
Transportation
coming
still.
towards us. Faraday and I were. Well, doing what we do best, I suppose.
It would have been a fun
And-
fight.
I'm
True.
not opposed to that plan. I'm opposed to enacting that plan right now.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that we're
I just wanted to put it out there as an option.
I'm not convinced that we are in a position to deal with should the worst happen.
Oh no, we're definitely not. Also, I have no ungodly idea how we'd get back.
Right.
Gilmore,
I don't think we know nearly enough about whatever is going on to just go gallivanting about like that. As much as I love gallivanting, don't get me
You do
wrong.
love
there.
gallivanting.
You do look the type to gallivant.
I
Does it very well,
am
though.
the type to gallivant. Believe you me.
But maybe not into the place with, well, overrun by various monstrosities and undead things, possibly some
Yeah,
elementals.
you know-
really unclear.
Yeah, I'm.
werewolves.
Gilmore is actually, as this conversation's happening, he's thinking to himself. He says, I wonder. And he steps to the side
shouldn't.
and he kind of chuckles to himself as he pulls out a small case and opens it up, and you can see several different shining rings. And he picks one up. I do have rings of mind shielding. I don't know how that would necessarily work. I mean, if the idea is that it's cosmic, it might be more than that, but I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
You could try it.
I guess the question is, again, like Dermot said, is this a now thing? Or maybe we take care of the business we have in Westrun before we accidentally on purpose teleport to another world.
I did tell Ellis we were on our way back.
You told Ella, yes. And I think, Thurston, I'm guessing you would like to see your family?
Yes, it would be appreciated.
Oh, your mother would kill us if you got stuck in an alternate plane of existence.
She would
Oh,
find her
God.
way there and somehow manage to bring me back, if only
She would send
to
jewels.
Kill you
yell
herself?
louder.
She seems like that
Yes.
type.
Yes.
Though I wonder if you could summon jewels from there. I mean,
He's
Dermot's eyes
just a
kinda go
guy. I don't
wide.
think so.
he just seems to always.
It's not a house elf.
You don't know that.
It's just nodding.
It's Faraday just sitting there nodding, being like, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Zipper
Gilmore-
going. He'll show up.
Gilmore just kind of goes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I don't
so-
understand you guys.
Do we notice Gilmore making these weird faces?
make a perception check.
23.
24.
Yeah, you
Big no.
almost sticking out. You, for one of the few times, register some nervousness emanating from Gilmore the moment the conversation shifts to talking about jewels.
I cross my arms and I kind of look at Gilmore like, you look around somebody's shoulder. Anything you want to share with the class, Gilmore?
I was young. Yeah.
Give him a little poke in the side.
All right. What? What do you want?
Well, I mean, I would like some new boots, but that's not what we're talking about right now.
You'll never let me live that down, will you? You just have this list of things that come to mind and expect me to just have them on hand. And he reaches and
Only
pulls
because I know
a
you
pair of
don't
boots
have it.
and just puts them in your hand.
What happens if I click the heels together on these?
Nothing. They're boots.
Well, I mean, that's not helpful to me. I have these ones that are lovely.
I believe the boots you're looking for belong to Lady DeRollo. So, unfortunately, I have not made another pair in quite some time. But I can work on that.
Would you be able to put the charm on the ones that I already have?
Potentially. It will take some time. I'm pretty sure an enchantment like that is going to take possibly a few days. Lots of resources.
We're getting
I
off
don't know.
track a little bit here.
It's a good thing we just saved you from your an evil necromancer that was keeping you up on a frozen mountain without sufficient warm clothing.
Yes, yes.
I look at Faraday and say, we're getting a little off track here, aren't we?
Sorry.
If we are taking the route we are taking back to Westrun, we will have plenty of time to talk about everything else.
I think that I... Dermot, you can write this down. I agree with Dermot on this one.
Everyone in the room goes. The dwarf goes. What happened? Something went wrong with the world.
This day.
Oh, honey. Go back to sleep.
Court, I rolled a 25 insight against your deception.
She's not lying. But I only rolled a 19, but she's genuinely not lying.
She's not lying. I rolled low enough. She's not lying.
I think that we need to regroup a little bit. What we've gone through was just, I don't know. I just think that we need some time to prepare. I'm not opposed to going to Bivin. I mean, it sounds like there's a whole lot of things to see and do, which, I like to put my swords to good use. But I think that perhaps if we went now, it wouldn't be a very good situation. Yes, and perhaps all of us might not be making their way back.
Short one-way trip, yeah.
So I think that it would be best if we spend a little more time preparing, and I think it's important for Thurston to see his family.
Oh, no, I agree. I just wanted to put the offer out there in case something people wanted.
A long way it is.
So we'll need 2 carts.
Horses for each.
Same. I think I'm going to be of better use here for the moment. I'm actually thinking of working on some things for all of you as a thank you gift for saving my life. But also, I'm going to see if I can research into how to prevent the rewriting, if you will. Maybe there's some sort of enchantment I haven't thought of, although getting access to some of Enrin's spells would be wonderful, but that's all lost to history, I'm sure. I will see what I can come up with, and we can keep communication through the Sending Stone.
Dermot, do you think Rig has knowledge of what he was studying?
I have no idea.
You said you were going to go visit him anyway. You needed to go pick up the next volume.
Yes. I can certainly ask if he has any of that knowledge or knows to what direction to point us in. But any of that kind of knowledge, I imagine, if it existed, it would be at the
Estella might have a little more insight as well. Who was that guy that gave me this fabulous dagger that you guys went to see again?
Oh, yes. Rendarian.
a character. But
he
he did
was-
say he was also going to do his
was
own
look-
research.
He was, though.
I'm just saying, Gilmore, there's a lot of resources that you could employ in Western that might be less of a headache for you in your research.
This is true. Although I do need to work on my current staffing situation.
Well,
He casts thaumaturgy to make his voice boom at the dwarf, and he's just
what happened to that lovely woman, Sherry, that was here last time?
I don't know. I will have to see if I can message her. Give me a moment. Let me gather some things. Let me gather actual things for traveling. Traveling by foot. Oh, joy.
Gilmore, do you happen to have or sell those tents that we had, those temperature controlled tents that we had
yes,
as we
we
made
had
our way
used.
down the mountain?
Yes, you had one of them. I assume Talia had sold one to you.
Mhm.
Talia says,
Mhm.
"A very deep discount, may I add." Yes, I do believe I have a couple more. Why? What is your thinking?
We might want an extra one.
It's not a bad plan. I will bring it along.
You know, just in case we find a few dozen dogs on the route.
Actually, I do miss those dogs. Actually, I do
Right.
think I have something better. But we'll come to that when it comes time. I will gather some things. Suppose we'll have to figure out a place for. Well, he kind of gives everybody an appraising eye for a moment. Suppose you could stay in my personal abode. There's enough room.
Do you have a
Yes.
home in each city that you have a shop?
Technically, I have a home anywhere I go. It's just if I have the ability ready to perform, if that makes any sense.
Doesn't, but I believe you.
You need the energy to conjure the door.
Thank you. But with that in mind, you're more than welcome to stay with me if you'd like. Sure, I can just rearrange some of the rooms to be bunk beds, a slumber party, whatever you'd like.
That would be a refreshing change of pace.
Yes, anything that is not the ground is always appreciated. The bar has become very low.
Just
The
not
ground
dirt.
so much.
That's
Good for your
progress.
back.
It's true, actually. It does help adjust.
Or you could just have a mattress specially made for you, and then it's very comfortable.
You carry a mattress in the back cold.
No, I meant just in general for your home. Instead of sleeping on the
Someone should
ground.
design one of those, though. Like instant mattress. Just pop it in the bag folding.
Gilmore waves a hand, and there is a piece of parchment that shows up, and it just says, "Possible ideas?" And he just waves, and a quill appears in his hand, and he marks that down.
An Instacot.
I do presume that if you ever create that, you would have sort of give credit to those who helped give you that idea.
There it is. I was waiting for it.
Thurston asking for royalties?
You know,
Shocked.
Lord Nollard, for a nobleman clearly in a position of wealth, you seem to be all about raking in money, and I like that about you.
I imagine
One
that's
has-
how he got wealthy.
I come
That's
from
how
a
you-
long line of people very careful with their money.
Lady
No,
Vixalia
see,
seemed
right
quite
there,
fond of
he
him.
was born into it.
Yes, born into it. I
Most
mean, what?
biased.
What?
Thurston just like takes his foot and just kicks Dermot in the hoof.
Lady
Uh,
Vixalia didn't seem to mind. I saw
Did
you
you just
chatting with
hoof
her.
stomp me?
Yeah.
Well, Lady Vixalia is a Derolo, and that airship was specifically designed for a distinct purpose by Lord Derolo himself. So,
Speaking of Lord Derolo, Gilmore, that gun that shot me, Kalia said that it belonged to some elf in Bibin with white hair that was. Well, she sounded like quite a fierce warrior, but that was inscribed on her gun, which I would take to mean that she's one of the ones that somehow came over, even though it was a gnome that had it.
oh no.
It also means that the gun, if Lord Derolo hasn't destroyed it, is probably in possession of the Derolos in Whitestone, so we gave it to the guards.
Oh no. Right. I do truly hope that Lord Derolo has not spiraled, seeing its existence after his previous escapades. But if it's the gnomes that I'm thinking of, and I know you had mentioned this to me, it was sort of a passing. I apologize, my attention span is a little hit or miss when originally speaking of these events. But if it's the gnome I'm thinking of, she may prove to be a pretty valuable ally.
Is that a problem? I kind of look at Cad. What happened to that gnome?
I think she was actually a halfling, looking back at my notes.
I think she was a halfling, and I think she was arrested.
Her name was Alicia.
Yep. That's... Oh, Lord.
I don't know. She was a little bitch, and she's the one that shot me. She thought she was going to mug us, and I ended up with her money, so sucks for her. But
She would be laughing her ass off if she knew that Alicia was a common rogue now.
Would be laughing?
Nobody. You said that she was most likely arrested, yes? This was in Whitestone?
I believe so, yes. Thurston and I ran into her and somebody else that Thurston really showed them what they had coming for them when you were coming back from the Carisco winery.
I assume they were both arrested.
Yeah, well, one of them, I mean, unless you knocked him out, he looked in quite bad shape after we tried to get the better of us.
Well, then we
Sure, he was fine.
have a plan then.
Yes.
Western
Mm-hmm.
for some information gathering, and then on to Whitestone.
Sounds good to me.
Probably should
We could stop at Turst Fields along the way as well.
Yeah, we did leave Quincy in charge of our bar.
Oh, wonderful. Tourist Fields, how glamorous.
Listen, the Wishing Well is going to be a wonderful bar, and it was looking great on the inside.
I have all the faith in the world in your business entrepreneurship.
You should trust Thurston with that, but
I just balance the books.
With some of your flair, Gilmore.
Too.
True. But with some of your flair, Gilmore, we could perhaps have a lovely suite designed that you are more than welcome to stay in, or...
You are asking for me to invest in your bar.
I mean, I didn't say that.
I kind of give Cad like a quizzical look, probably the same look that Gilmore is giving them. Like, you do know that Gilmore's daughter owns a bar, right? You don't think that's a conflict of interest?
No. It's not Gilmore's glorious rose-crested tavern or whatever.
That would be a mouthful.
We need to talk about branding, if that's really the thought that you had. But
it's not.
Gilmore, please don't name a bar that no one will go there.
I was more thinking that you could use your magic to do a little construction and make it nicer if you wished. If you are so in despair at the way taverns and things are in Turst Fields, why not spruce the place up a little bit? I can't make sparkle shoot out of my fingers, but
I mean, we
I'm
can
just
do
saying.
that though.
We've also
Well,
been gone 6 weeks. We don't know what Quincy's done to the place since.
We really don't. That's kind of why I want to go back there.
you probably got at least a full roof then.
I mean, it could be up and running. I'm assuming it is up and running. We didn't contact him, did we?
No.
Okay.
We've been a little bit more preoccupied than thinking about our bar, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but he said he was also going to keep an ear out for us.
Talia actually says under her breath, "Another group of adventurers who have their own bar. This world really is nothing different than Bivin."
We got it for
It's a
free.
We got it for free, and if the model works,
It's true.
And Gilmore says, "Well, here is my current queue of things I'm working on. Chief among them is payment for saving my life. Below that, and I'm sure Thurston would like to discuss the business arrangements. If you do mean to expand or improve your bar, I'm sure we can come to some sort of business arrangement. Unfortunately, I will have to charge money. I am a businessman. I have a certain lifestyle that I have to live up to, and as such, there is a financial transaction that must take place. But that is not the priority right now. Does anybody want anything to eat? I'm going to go and find some food for us all."
We should probably deal with
um,
the horse cart situation.
We should also probably figure out where we're going to stay for the evening.
I've got
I
that.
just kind of gesture at Gilmore.
Oh, I thought he
We
meant
got that
the
one.
road.
I've got that handled.
All right.
Gilmore, why don't I come with you? We can find something good to eat for all of us. Thurston, you feel like procuring us some transportation for the morning?
More horses, of course.
I'll go
I don't
with
know.
you.
Quickly
We
gonna
all
turn from being called the wishing well to the horse's stable.
No, we said we were gonna have a ranch attached to it.
yeah.
At this rate.
Yeah. We're going to bring those dogs here to go live at it too.
And it's a dog sanctuary?
Yep.
I'm down.
Dude, best acquisition ever.
We'll never want to
I mean, there's a lot of land.
retire.
Yeah, lots of fields, happy places where the dogs
And
can
those
run.
dogs will be super happy in the winter because
Yep.
they get some snow.
Yeah. I'm just saying something to keep in mind. I don't know how we get 24 dogs here from Vasselheim, but especially when we can't go to Vasselheim.
Yes.
Think we're banned from there forever, ever, or do you think they'll come to their senses?
Technically, Cad's not banned from there.
That's true.
And from there.
Are the rest well, are you banned? No, I guess you are banned from there.
The rest of you are banned from there.
If I sent you with like a list, Cad,
I mean, a list in the bag of holding wouldn't be a problem. They seemed to be, well, they all seemed to be staring at my weapons. Plus, I'm
Your
part
weapons are
celestial,
magical.
but I'm also part celestial. They like the divine there, so. But you don't know my weapons are magical just from looking at them.
Ah!
Cad, you talk to your sword. It talks back to you.
There is one who's a little chatty, and we love that about him.
Claudius is learning his place. He watches my back. You guys, it really helps. He watches my back when we're sneaking somewhere particularly devious. Still working on the quiet thing.
Only speak when spoken to. And I just realized no one directly spoke to me. I already broke that rule. I will return to being silent.
I still have so many questions.
You didn't break any rules.
If
I
Greater
was being
Restoration,
suspicious.
if Greater Restorations restored Kalia's memory, would it work on a sword?
By the laws of the spell, it has to target a humanoid. Or a living creature. Sword, specifically a vestige, I don't quite know. I believe that there's more at work with how the
How is it that Gladius talks?
juju functions. It's true. It does. Gladius does have a personality, but I don't think it would work the same way.
How would I know if he is actually a vestige? Then? Just because he changed?
I mean, that was my prognosis.
Well,
I mean,
again, Westrun.
Westrun.
Go to the Cobalt
Pike
Cove.
actually has some experience with the vestiges herself. She could probably shed a little bit more light, but
That's pretty awesome.
I'm just saying, I was planning on going to the Cobalt Vault in Vasselheim, but that's obviously not going to happen.
Fortunately for you, there's Cobalt Reserve in Western. They can get anything from their branches as far as I'm aware.
Ah,
I need to spend some time at...
That's a very good question. I don't know how they get things between branches, but...
I need to spend some time at the Raven Queen's Temple, I think, in Western as well.
Do you think if they send books between branches and teleportation's all, weird, there's just a bunch of books spitting out someplace in this other world?
I think that if they're using magic to transport books between different continents, they're slightly hypocritical.
Well, yes, obviously, but we knew that much.
I'm just picturing some poor schmuck. He's like living in his farmhouse. And just keeps showing up. He's like, "Where are you coming from?"
Either that, or it's just like you go to the magic tree and the books start coming out.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
We are gonna arrive in this other world, and there's gonna be a cult built around this, and it's wonderful.
Sounds like my kind of cult. Let's do it.
Are we joining a cult?
Like a free little free library that you have in your neighborhood, but it's an oak tree.
Yep.
So if Dermot's going with Gilmore and Thurston is getting forces, what are the rest of us doing?
I'll go with Thurston.
I mean, at the end, I guess I can go get some supplies.
What? Yeah, we do. Oh, God.
We're gonna need some food.
5 foot, I guess.
I had stocking up on some more of that honey mead.
Good point. Honey mead, yes. Some form of food, preferably fruit, and maybe less on the jerky sticks and tried whatever. Oh, I was really looking forward to not eating ration.
Yes. Hey, we never got reimbursed before we left Vasselheim.
They kicked us out. Send a bill.
Oh, I am.
Gilmore just puts a comforting hand on Thurston's shoulder and just says, "Sometimes when you spend money, it doesn't come back." I have nothing more to add.
If you're not doing it well.
Well, I suppose you could,
Thurston just says, then you're really bad at spending money.
Thurston, you could send the bill to the Tal'Dorei Council. We did save one of their prize members.
Oh.
But it was Vasselheim who was supposed to reimburse us. Doesn't seem right to bill the council.
Have the council bill Vasselheim.
Yeah.
We don't actually have to be billed. It's mostly the principle of the matter that they kicked us out without even paying us properly.
No, that's
it's
exactly
extraordinarily rude on several levels, is all I'm saying.
You can add it
kept some of the dogs.
You know what? You're right.
Should have kept that damn manuscript.
Them not reimbursing for supplies and money spent to save my life is definitely the bigger insult than ostracizing all arcane spellcasters from its population.
Just the cherry on top of
Mhm.
several things that are wrong.
I'm going to go get food, most likely from the Laughing Lamia Inn. Any particular tastes anybody has?
I would like fruit.
All right, fruit.
Surprise me.
Oh, I also
Oh.
like to live dangerously.
You see your
You're gonna
ears
get
go
durian or
red.
something. Just gonna get some durian.
Boilers.
I already tried tricking Mako into eating a durian fruit. All right,
Oh, that's right.
it's a
Ooh,
lost
something-
cause.
Something with gravy and mashed potatoes.
All right, I'm sure we can arrange something.
Meat. Warm meat, not jerky.
Yes, 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 of course.
honey mead.
Okay, now I feel like I'm a server.
Well, you asked.
I'm coming with you. I can help carry things.
Good.
We'll go get some rations for the road.
All right.
Does anyone have requests for the road? Does anyone need anything?
No.
Supplies.
Well, yes, but
I think you might be the only one that.
I'll leave the
Needs-
camping supplies to the side for this trip. Trust me, I have a nice little surprise for everybody.
Well, Parky, if you need to get anything for your magic, we can get that as well.
oh gosh.
Verity looks
Yeah, if you need-
around at where we are sitting currently.
Oh, I think I'll have to check. I definitely need more paper.
Like, don't need to leave this place for that.
No, we definitely do not.
All right, she jumps off the counter that I assumed she was sitting on because she's fucking rude, and grabs.
This was
their-
100%, by the way, a Buffy gang sitting around the library.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A, B, and C.
In.
And then they
Yeah.
start getting into like reimbursements, and she just went,
Oh,
"Oh,
we're talking about numbers again.
oh my
Party
god,
is like 100% Xander.
absolutely,
Poor Faraday. Just
absolutely."
no matter what we're doing, the conversation goes back to math at some point, and she just like
Always with you nerds.
Thurston is Cordelia.
Oh,
Oof.
All right, now let's not say things we
True,
can't take
though.
back.
it's
I like Cordelia.
totally true,
maybe
though.
like season 2-3 Cordelia.
Yeah.
Yeah, better.
Yeah.
Not
Like
season
Angel Cordelia?
Yeah, like Angel
Yeah,
Cordelia.
that's fine.
Okay, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she does have a very good
Anyway,
wardrobe.
That was your
Her
fault,
90 her
Pedro.
90s style is on point.
Also, we were packing boxes this weekend and watching Buffy, so.
Ah,
Are
there
we
you
getting
go.
off track again?
Oh, shit.
Like
Shit!
a Faraday. I think we're getting off track again.
Yeah, but see, this I actually care about. She'll.
all right.
My
she'll grab
wardrobe?
Thurston. Yeah. No.
Actually, that's
Let's
a good
go.
point.
First things first. Dermot and Gilmore.
Yes.
I'm just going to make these nice and quick. You guys make your way over to the Laughing Lamia Inn. The bartender, Annabella, says that she'll be happy to provide meals for everybody, especially the winner of the last Bards competition.
And I give her a flourish and tip my hat.
She's not very ladylike, but she does do the overly girly curtsy in response, almost sarcastically. And basically, the total for the meal for the night comes out to 2 gold for everybody.
Okay. I hand her. Uh, 3 gold and a platinum.
I
Because
forgot
don't know what the
I
amounts
forgot why
are.
we stopped sending Dermot to go get shit.
Oh yeah.
Annabella kind of like half looking, like takes the gold, and then hears like a distinct, like as she's kind of tossing the coins, here's like
That silver piece is too heavy to be silver.
and looks down. Are you sure? I mean, don't
Yeah,
get me wrong. I like
Do you
gifts. That's a
It's
lot.
customary to leave a tip in him on, is it not?
Yeah,
Right?
it'd be
I
like
did it right?
Well, it's kind of you overdid it, just a
Okay,
little.
thanks, bye!
Okay.
Across town, Thurston gets heart palpitation. He goes, "Oh, I forgot to warn Gilmore."
uh, Gilmore, Gilmore essentially takes like all the food packages and like with Dermot starts carrying them out, and Dermot or Gilmore just kind of thinks to himself, "Not my money." Just leaves with Dermot. So yeah, go ahead and mark off the 3 gold and 1 platinum, please.
Oh, I did.
Good. Um, Faraday and Thurston, you walk through town for a little bit, getting a little bit more of the sights as you are approaching somewhat closely the crater that is left over from Thordak. And I don't know if you've ever actually personally been there, but it is rather massive. And it, even though you're kind of moving away from it, you kind of take a moment to just look at the huge scar that's in the city, left over from the Chroma Conclave and Thordak himself. But eventually, go ahead.
So you can go the edge of it, right?
Yes.
Faraday's actually gonna go over to the edge of it and take, kind of scope out and see if there's any, like, I don't know what you would call, like charred rock or like anything that you'd be able to like, just like a piece of molten rock, like cold molten rock, basically.
Make a perception check.
Oh, thank God that's with advantage. 22.
22. You do see that a lot towards the edge of the crater, it is not as roiling magma as it is in the center. That being said, you do see one spot within a few feet that you could reach and grab a small magma coated rock that seems to just glow with a little bit of energy.
Yeah. She'll take it and she'll pocket it.
All right.
Picking up rocks with our hands now.
I mean, if it's cold. She's
Not a
got
bad plan.
she's got reasons. She's got reasons. Her thought
All right.
process as she goes, the fact that this is a huge impact on a giant city from a creature that Novus is vastly jealous of.
True story.
Sits in her brain.
As you pocket the magma rock, you feel this presence kind of come up behind you, and Thurston, you feel it as well. Thurston, real quick, by the way, are you in sister form or are you in Thurston form?
He's still Thurston.
Still Thurston. You do feel somebody approaching from behind, and turn and see a elf, bald, looks somewhat familiar actually. You can recall the final four, the other adventuring party that you had done battle with underneath Quincy's Tavern. The elf or monk, you can see stands before you and says, "I was not expecting to see this Victor approach Thordak's crater. Pleasure to make your acquaintance once again."
Nice to see you.
I would exercise caution, however. You see, he kind of looks over his shoulder, briefly, almost as if he's like gesturing for you to look over his shoulder as well. And you can see that there are a couple of townspeople, nondescript human folk, that are milling about but sort of lingering a little. And you definitely see a woman, maybe in her mid-30s, glance up and make eye contact with Thurston. It seems that your reputation precedes you. As a favor for letting me live, I will see what I can do about drawing attention away from you, if you would like.
Thank you, Thurston.
Well, I suppose your assistance would be appreciated. Thank you. And thank you for the warning as well.
We do provide. Not that it means much, but I did leave that adventuring group. Turns out there was not a whole lot of money in getting my ass kicked in a fucking arena. And he turns, and you see he reaches back and produces a gourd and uncorks it and takes a big, long drink. And after a few moments, he starts to kind of stumble a little bit. And he stumbles into a cart that's passing by, which knocks over a crate, which basically causes a whole big commotion for you guys to get away. I will need stealth checks from the two of you.
Right.
$14.
Okay.
10.
Okay.
Not bad for Thurston.
Not bad. You guys slip through the nearest alleyway in the direction of the stables, feeling confident that you were not seen. At this point, you continue to make your way towards the stables, and after a mildly, I don't want to say rushed, but you do have an arrangement made. You pick up some more horses. How many are you looking for this time?
There's gonna be 8 of us. Right, Thurston?
Oh, we're
Seven.
getting carts.
Oh, wait,
5.
and Pike. Yep.
Talia
Yeah.
Pike.
Yeah,
So
more.
2 carts.
Does Pike count? Twee.
The armor alone kind of gives her enough of a stature.
Mm.
So 2 carts, 4 horses. 2 horses each. I assume we're going to be taking it rather slow.
Yeah, son. Yeah. That seems to be our usual arrangement.
All right. So, pardon my brain, because I was totally looking up the list of prices. One more time. 2 carts and how many
2
horses?
carts, 4 horses total, 2 for each cart.
Me. While I try to remember what I was charging for the things.
Does anybody remember what session that was? I probably wrote it down. Let's be real.
Way back. 75?
Yeah, they were 75. Let's 75 per.
Well,
horse.
are you looking at draft horses or riding horses? Because
I'm looking at riding.
Right.
Are you
Okay.
going for drafted?
You would not. You would not use a riding horse.
Okay.
If we're just if
'cause
they're
we're
just
using
pulling
the
a
carts.
wagon,
Yeah, draft
Yeah.
horses then.
you would use draft horses.
Okay. So if that is the case, it would come out to an even 230 gold pieces.
I got it.
Oh, please.
I swear, Rhodes, if you find one that's like, oh, I only paid 5 gold for the last time, this is like a gilded cart. It's the only one they have.
We did some trade-ins last time too,
Yeah.
so
We did.
like
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I just like control F'd in my notes and then like couldn't find my way back because it took me to a different campaign. And I'm like
Oh.
scrolling through and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Why am I reading about this character right now? And it just took my brain too long to figure it out.
it would have
Wait.
been really funny if it had been the Bivin campaign.
Yeah, that would be really hilarious.
Would have
No, it's
if
like,
past
why
me
are
took
my-
notes.
No, yeah.
Why are my notes talking about 6 of us crammed into a minivan?
Why are my notes talking about the druid wild shaping into a shark and pulling a boat?
Yeah,
That's a
Divin got a
common
little
thing.
weird.
Riven got a
weird.
little weird.
But you do purchase the carts and the horses, and I will not make you roll an animal handling check to get them back to Gilmore's shop.
Thank you.
Uh,
Much appreciated.
Cadriel and Arthea. You guys, Arthea, I know you said you were going to look for stuff for spellcasting and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna probably have to do some purchases, which means I'm gonna need to sit on the floor and dump out all my stuff.
Okay. All right.
Just along for the ride, and she'll keep her eye out for a place that will sell us supplies for the road, some alcohol, and a fruit vendor because she really doesn't want to eat rations the entire time.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a perception check, Cad.
Natural one.
Is it natural 1?
Oh yeah.
Okay. You find.
Really distracted apparently. Thinking
I
about
mean, I am-
Gladius and
I
all
am
this new
pu-
information.
I mean, Arthea is pulling out random stuff from various bags,
Oh god.
which has accumulated over the course of the campaign.
Oh, component bags. Blech.
Oh, it's not just the component bags, because some of it is in other bags.
It's going, God, what is that smell, Arthea?
It's from the bag of holding. There's a rug. I think it's been molding in there for
It
a
get
couple months.
wet? Oh, it smells like a wet animal.
You just see a bear head come out the top of the bag.
Shove that back in. Don't let people see it.
Why did we take this again?
Because we're hoarders.
You guys are fucking hoarders.
You
You
tell
guys
me
are-
not a single adventuring party that isn't a hoarder.
You
I'm
guys
not
are
gonna have a
spending
troll
the
dick in
first
their
3
bag for
sessions
long.
playing this game like you played Skyrim for the first time. Like,
Mhm.
what if I need a bucket for the bucket dungeon? Like, you're just grabbing everything.
I don't know. Did we ever look at the stuff that was in the rug?
We took the stuff out of the rug and then took the rug. Honestly, I think we were just in a really big hurry.
I feel like Thurston wanted to sleep on it or something. I don't know.
It was really uncomfortable on the way back.
Oh.
Maybe we should just throw it in the crater. It'll like burn up in the lava.
I'm not throwing it in the crater.
Why?
That's littering.
But is it littering if it
Obviously.
gets incinerated?
Yes. Then it's not littering, but it's still pollution.
But it's natural. It's bear skin. It's probably just gonna smell like barbecue once you get past the smell.
Pretty sure they have rules against chucking things into the crater. Also,
Maybe we
it's...
could just throw it in the trash.
Oh yeah, we can definitely do that. But right now, that's not what we're doing. Right now, I just
Well,
need...
I mean, maybe you should shove the head back in. You got a big bear head sticking out of your pouch.
That's what she said.
Cadriel,
Yes.
you are looking around for a good vendor to get some good food, drink for the road. You don't find anything super fancy, but you do find a street vendor. A dwarf named Demnis. He says, I am the one-stop shop for any adventuring party who needs the good supplies for food and drink. I also have some vending machines for guns, but that is in another world. We don't need to talk about that.
I think
Oh.
that,
You look
You met-
like an adventurer yourself. Would you like food and drink?
I think you tried to sell me a hot dog on the street of Whitestone. We need to stock up for some.
We all have to start somewhere.
Well, do you have any fruits and things that are good for the road?
Yes, I have things that are also fruit. Let me see what I have. And you see that he pulls out. He essentially like combs through these several different baskets that have fruits and vegetables. Make a perception check.
This went so well last time.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that was a natural 20, so 28.
28. Shit. You can see that he is digging through these baskets of fruit and vegetables to find ones that do not have rot on them. It's not insane. It's not like just has a basket of rotten food, but it's clear that it's been out for a little bit. He's not really caring to refrigerate or, make sure that they're healthy, that sort of thing. But he does turn and presents, like a small basket with
As,
some.
as I'm kind of like looking at the rotten fruit, can I kind of like look around to see if there's any other vendor? Like,
Unfortunately, you were looking around. It could be that it's getting later in the day, but unfortunately, there are no other vendors that seem to be around at this time. But you see, he presents there. See, I present you with fruit. Would you also like drink to go with that?
like what? What kind of drinks do you have?
Well, pardon me while I consult our menu.
Pop off.
We do have some new.
Pop off.
We do have some new flavors in. We have Tropical Thunder. We have Watermelon Infusion. We have Rainbow Eye and Cool Smash. He just like unrolls
Ooh,
this
Rainbow
scroll that looks like
Eye. Rainbow Eye
it's
sounds
just
good.
it's the colors are kind of screaming at you. It's essentially like a spam ad that's just put in front of your face, but just listing off several different drinks. Only their names though. There's no description other than their name.
I'll take one of the rainbow eye, and how much for the fruit? And I saw how much was moldy in that tub you were taking out of. So don't try to jack the
It
prices up on
has
me.
some flavor. It's fine for you adventuring types.
It's
I
gonna sell it.
it puts hair on its chest.
Do I look like I want hair on my chest?
I don't judge. The total for the rainbow eye and the fruit is a total of 2 gold pieces.
How does the fruit look that he gave me? I know you said it's not moldy, but is it like bruised and kind of look like it had rolled across the street because he spilled it at some point?
Yeah, but you could tell as he was gathering it together, he did like brush off some bits of the dirt.
I just look at it. I'll give you 1 gold for that.
Fine. I like you negotiating adventuring types. It is quite a staple among your kind. Like Lady de Rollo, never pay full price. I like it.
Yes, well, I've learned quite a bit from Lady DeRollo. So.
I'm really going to hope that I remember this voice because this is a shit ton of fun to do.
I hand him a gold. I hand Arathea her drink.
He
No.
grabs the gold and just kind of
Take
does the
the
test. Pleasure doing business with you. Come
Have a good
again.
one. Arathea.
If I look at this drink, what does it look like? What is this alcohol?
Okay, you know those alcoholic slushies that you get from like
Yes.
Fridays? Okay. Imagine one of those, but it's like half melted. And you can see it's
Like one
it's
of
got
those
a couple
juice
different-
pops, like an otter pop.
Kinda. It was clearly when it was first made, it was clear that it had the different colors, and it was just very colorful and beautiful and delicious. But over time, possibly because they haven't been selling well, some of the layers of flavor have just sort of melded together. So it's just kind of this weird brown, and then also yellow and blue at the bottom. Some strange brewing method is just not quite working well, but
I mean, honestly, it's probably not the worst thing I've had.
I don't know. Oh, looks like he gave us some peaches, though. Have you tried those yet? I can't remember.
Which
Kinda fuzzy.
ones are peaches? Are they the sour yellow ones?
That was a lemon. Those just go in things. You weren't actually supposed to eat it.
Well, why did you give it to me then?
The smell.
Oh,
They smell. The peaches are the ones that are a little bit fuzzy, very sweet. They make an excellent pie.
the soft ones.
Yes.
Oh, Arthea.
I'll give her a peach. Those are my favorite.
I do have a question though. Do you take a drink of the rainbow eye? Okay.
I'm gonna eat a bite of the peach first though, because she definitely has learned that we eat before we drink.
Okay. All right. Make me Constitution saving throw.
Oh God.
Fair, that's fair. Oh God, which of these dice that were totally sucking earlier today should I roll this on? Not that one. That one's a bad die. That's not terrible. 16.
Okay. All right. So you take a drink after eating the peach, which is just, delicious, sweet. And it's followed up by essentially the closest equivalent I could put is that those like Mio things, the water flavor things.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody takes like a glass of water and empties a Mio into it,
God.
so it just punches you in the face with sweet and flavor and sugar and just all of those things at once. And
Oh
for a
my
hot
God.
second, your stomach kind of turns a little bit, but you muscle it through, and you are not enduring any mechanical disadvantages for any reason.
Was it? It looks kind of thick.
Syrupy? A lot. Yeah. I don't think I've ever drank something I didn't see before.
Oh. Maybe you know what?
Tastes better than it looks, though.
Maybe you should water it down a little bit. Maybe it's to mix in something.
Oh.
Do you
You
think it would
turn
make that fire whiskey taste better?
Did you mix this with the fire whiskey?
Sure.
I mean, I think you might be able to chase the fire whiskey with it.
Well, we have a lot of nights on the road.
It's true.
Oh.
Maybe we can get Faraday to try it.
I mean, after 2 weeks on the road, I think we'll all be wanting to try.
Well, I have to drive in the morning, so probably
Yeah,
not
but
me.
you
But
can just call upon your friend. You can just call upon one of your friends for help.
is that what we're calling them now?
Well, are they not friendly?
I mean, it's not like I have conversations.
Why not?
I've never really thought about it. Anyway, if we find another fruit cellar, we can get some more things.
No, this one. So the peach is great. The peach was very good.
We need to get some. Well,
Gilmore
let's
said we
find
don't.
what you need first. Gilmore said we didn't need anything, I guess.
I mean, everything I need is probably at Gilmore's. I just need paper, ink. Definitely, probably sand. Probably a lot of paper, actually.
Does Gilmore sell paper?
I don't know. He probably
Yes.
has some, though. He must have paper.
Do we know where a bookshop is in Amon?
I will say for expediency, you do find a bookshop. Given that it's getting to be later in the evening, you see that they are looking to close up, but you do manage to sneak in. Arthea, what all did you want to buy? From the bookshop?
Paper and ink, and since I might as well stock up while I have the chance, I will pick up. Oh, I don't know, like 2 packages of paper. I think it's 2. They
Okay.
come in stacks of 20, I believe.
Okay. All right. So,
And definitely, I know I need ink.
all right. So I will say in total,
Mhm.
you will pay a 12 gold pieces
Sweet.
for the ink and the sheets of paper.
Not a problem.
I'm just going to
Passes.
keep that open all the time. Holy shit.
She's gonna pass over the gold, like
It's
very
like
up.
bookmark it.
Really sorry. Really sorry. Just wanted to get it before you guys closed.
Oh, it's okay. No, it's all right. Thank you
No,
so
no,
much.
no. I feel bad.
The proprietor says, not a big deal. I do have to get to dinner, though.
Okay, let's get back to Gilmore's.
It's like going out with like a heap full of paper.
All right.
But I was gonna run out.
You're fine.
You all return to Gilmore's.
Yeah.
You can see Pike and Kalia
Brink.
are exchanging battle techniques. Pike is in the middle of describing her shield, which she has summoned, looking all beautiful and golden and translucent, and she holds her mace, and is going over, battle line techniques. And Kalia just sort of interrupts and says, I don't believe in fighting on a line. Just throw me into a fucking mess and I will tear everything apart. That's typically what I do. Pike's like, that's not how it's supposed to work. Okay, sure. And she puts
Can I like stealth and sneak up behind Pike?
Go ahead and make me a stealth
You have
check.
a fucking death wish, maybe.
19. Yeah, 19.
Pardon me for a moment. Okay. Let's see. You said 19?
Yeah.
She shouldn't. Okay. As you are sneaking up behind her, what's your intent? What are you trying to do?
I just wanted to give her a little. I just wanted to give her a little poke and be ready to dodge out of the way, but just say that's how I prefer to fight.
As you approach and as you're getting in position and you've got your finger out, and just as you extend, you see the mace get lifted from its satchel, caught, and then she doesn't even turn and holds it and says, do you remember who I traveled with for years? And you have this mace of disruption inches from your face.
Ew.
She turns and says, oh, it's okay. I know you didn't mean anything by it. I just really got tired of him giving me wedgies all the time. Max was like a 12-year-old in a, I don't even know how old elf's body. It was annoying.
Are Dermot and Gilmore back at this point to witness that?
I'd say everybody's back at this point.
Dermot cannot control his laughter. Like that is the one thing that Cat is good at, and you just got stomped into the dirt, metaphorically, by this little adorable gnome.
Just wait, Dermot. She just gave me an idea.
Oh God.
What, wedgies? Good luck, I don't wear pants.
Ruby, says Pike.
That actually.
I just I instinctually just look down.
Dermot is wearing
Anyway, I
pants.
am not.
Dermot is wearing pants and says, made you look.
Anyway. The shop is yours. Arathea, was there anything else you needed to get from Gilmore specifically from the shop? Or was that kind of it?
Oh gosh, I guess I should. I don't. Where is he right now?
Gilmore is behind the counter. At this point, food has been distributed, so he's sort of snacking while also sifting through several different books, clearly getting a head start on his research.
Okay. Then I will put down my drink of brown stuff. If anyone want, no, it tastes a lot better, I swear, than it looks. It feel free.
No, thank you.
Maybe
What
what?
is it?
Uh, ask Cad. Honestly, she bought it, and
You
I
said
don't
you
really
wanted
know.
it.
It
I
sounded
think it
good.
was supposed to be a rainbow, but it kind of melted together.
Still kind of tastes like a rainbow, though. You can taste the colors.
I don't
Ed,
know.
what have you done to this poor girl now?
She said that it sounded good, so I bought it for her when I was buying the fruit to take with us. She said it was very sweet if you want to try it. I know, Dermot, you enjoy sweet stuff.
Oh, Dermot's gonna
sometimes.
try it.
Pike does lean in and just say, "Oh, that looks like the after effect of eating rotten food."
Could be it.
And how does it taste?
Pretty syrupy, sugary, overly sweet. And it's got this texture that's not the most pleasant.
It's a melted
half,
ice pop.
yeah, kind of like half melted ice cream, but also with a pound of sugar.
I just remarked that it's too sweet. They're trying too hard.
Dermot, go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw.
Hey. That is a 13.
With a 13, after you say it's a little too sweet, you feel your stomach turn, and you find it a little difficult to focus as your stomach is literally rebelling against you with what you just put in your body. You're feeling a yak coming up real quick.
I will quickly but politely excuse myself.
Oh my god.
Yeah, talk to dinosaurs.
Yes. In the meantime, I will make my way over to the counter.
Okay.
Gilmore.
Yes, Thea. Oh, I had this made for you as well. And he slides a hot chocolate across.
These are actually much better than whatever we bought out in Iman. That was...
Yeah, you really got to be careful. Some vendors are great, but only some.
It's not really distracted. Arithia pulled the bear head out of the bag of holding and...
Anyway, it just takes a sip of the very, very good hot chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
So much better. Just the right amount of sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any sort of... I'm looking for a spell to copy. Absorb elements. I've noticed I have this habit of getting hit by things that hurt a lot.
I know that feeling.
And I don't really have any way to, well, deal with that. Kind of wasn't really my focus at the time. Didn't expect to spend as much time getting hit and burned and, shocked.
I don't really think anybody plans on that sort of itinerary, but I do have the spell that I can transcribe for you.
I'm willing to pay for it. That's not a problem, but it's one of those things that I was planning to do in Vasselheim, but be much appreciated.
Yes.
I feel like that might come in handy in the future with the whole trying not to die thing.
I understand that being somewhat of a priority. For the scroll... Sorry, I'm trying to find... Really? It is going to be 50 gold pieces.
Yep. I will count out 50 gold.
1. 2.
A coin-based currency system is very inconvenient.
It really is. But I mean, then again, I don't really carry that much coin on me. Spend it all.
Eh,
As you count out the 50 gold, he just waves his hand as he is still kind of looking through another book, and you see the coin rise and the register open as it slides perfectly into each drawer before it closes by itself.
You know they
That's
get in
a
the
little
right
bit of
drawer.
Yeah, it's an enchantment, really. It's rather simple.
So if I was to try
That's
and say for
typically
you,
I do that for first time customers. It's adds to the flair.
yes, can't have too much flair. What if someone tries to cheat you? You know, slip a few silver in there with the gold.
Well, then my door will lock, and we will have a rather terse discussion.
Okay.
I also have a shotgun underneath the bar. I'm just kidding.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
Is there anything you guys wish to do for the evening?
Eat and sleep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sleep. Well, not sleep.
provide some ambiance.
Yes.
As I remember to open up Sirenscape because nobody reminded me at the beginning of the session.
Oh, nobody reminded me either.
One would
Rude.
think it's been long enough.
But I
Look,
don't need
just because the
reminders for
button's
that kind of
there
stuff.
doesn't mean I'm gonna remember it. Come on.
I'm just fixing some things. There we go. As the evening starts to draw to a close, Gilmore says, "All right, I suppose I'll show you to our rooms." And you see he mutters an incantation, and there's this the somatic components involve this purplish glow emanating off of his hands. And as he lifts, there is a door that sprouts up from the ground. He opens it and steps in, and you can see a lavish, ostentatious, uh, like foyer, complete with a statue of Gilmore riding a valiant steed, looking fabulous, his hair billowing in the breeze. There are purple and gold couches, and there is a literal gold and purple carpet leading further into what is ostensibly a mansion of some kind. And as he steps in, he shouts out, "Hot chocolate, please!" And you see these little formless, almost like air elementals, but spirits that manifest, and with them, huge mugs of delicious hot chocolate that all approach as you all enter and offer one to each of you.
Stick my head in here, pull it back out, and walk around the door.
Yeah, it's a door standing on its own.
No door from the backside, though.
Nope.
Step
this is
in.
really cool.
Yeah, and I'd step in. This is
Can you do that, Arthia?
No. I mean, I didn't even. I can make a dome without a door.
Hey, don't get me wrong. That door, or that, excuse me, that dome is super handy. Thank you. And he takes a sip.
I mean, I guess it's just like very, well, large. She just sits down, starts writing.
yeah. This all looks like Feywild kind of nonsense. So the fact that it's just a door opening into like a new like pocket plane, it's that on its own is not something that phases me. So I just walk in, accept my cup of hot chocolate. Are there marshmallows in it?
Do you want there to be marshmallows in there?
Are there already marshmallows in it?
No, there are not.
I look at the air elemental spirit thing, and ask, "Do you have any marshmallows?"
The elemental reaches out, grasps the hot chocolate, and in a moment you just see rising from the bottom of the hot chocolate are several little marshmallows, and then it extends it back out to you.
Um, I look at Gilmore and say, "Gilmore, remember that outfit that I had my eye on when we first met?
Yes.
Can I have this? Can I have one of these instead?"
Suppose all I need to do is attach the enchantment to an object that you can then activate. It's not entirely impossible, it's more just costly. That being said, I'm sure I can arrange something. Once we get to Western, I will make use of the shop there and see what I can come up with for you.
I
Just
just
know
kind
that
of
this entire place, once it is yours, is entirely up to your standards. You like hot chocolate? You can have hot chocolate. You like to serve chicken and only chicken, as I've heard one short halt, and he looks over at Pike, who just sort of smiles with a chocolate mustache on her face. Then you may have chicken. If you like a Grecian aesthetic, it is yours. If you prefer a Feywild aesthetic, it is yours as well. It is entirely up to you. Just know that whatever you leave in here after the spell ends, it will just sort of fall into the space that the door had manifested. But the beds and the torches, the warmth, the everything will be yours to play with up until the spell ends.
How long does this last?
I think it's 8 hours?
It's 24 hours.
24
It's
hours.
24 hours.
24 hours. One day. Joke's on you, though. It's Teldore, so Mercer calendar says 36 hours or something.
25 hours because
No.
go fuck yourself.
No. I am not recounting all of my days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
I'm like, that's the line. We're like, yeah, everything about it's great. Except that.
That's.
Fuck that.
you.
Nope, that is a step too far.
But as you all enter, Gilmore does close the door behind. Also, one additional little thing. Only the people allowed in are those you invite. Keep that in mind. Any unwanted company will not be able to enter while this spell is active and while you are inside.
Can people spy on us in here?
No, actually, it is a pocket plane.
Like hiding in a really, really fancy bag of holding
Thank you.
One
that you can't
that's locked.
suffocate in.
Yes.
Not suffocating is good. Can you create a doorway that, instead of connecting to a pocket plane, connects to just a particular place?
Well, yes, that's typical transportation. It's pseudo teleportation. You would have to complete the enchantment on both doors, and upon completion, then yes, whenever you activate the enchantment, open a door, and it will open to wherever the other door is. It's similar to a sending stone, really. I do believe Allura has something set up with the Laughing Lamia Inn.
Could you make a door that connects to multiple doors?
That would be quite an advanced enchantment, but not impossible. I suppose.
You could put the enchantment on the doorknob and just have like 10 doorknobs on a single door. And whatever doorknob you used, it would open to a different place.
That would
Not
be
a
really
bad plan. That door would look fucked up, though.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
Who cares?
We can
It's a
workshop
door that
though.
opens to 10 different places.
You know, now that you're saying this, I kind of wonder why I didn't do this for my
You could put dummy doorknobs on the door.
So,
Well,
like, they
I'm
don't.
thinking there's just more doorknobs than there is door, and now I'm confused.
It's just a big door. It's just a bunch of doorknobs.
A door
no.
made of doorknobs.
A door made of knobs. But no, I mean, because that would be really useful. Like, you know, you have a place to go, and then, but we need to go to Westrun, and hey, we don't want to. So you just go to the door and, you know, make sure to grab the Westrun doorknob and you open it, and it lets you out, I don't know, in Thurston's front hall. Or something.
Perhaps at the front gate, but yes.
Yes. That's true. That'd be rude to just appear in the front hall. Have to give Jules time to prepare. The 10 seconds that he needs.
Well, you would have to enchant another door or another doorknob on the other end. So it could be like, you know, your office door.
Faraday has walked away at this point. It's not math talk, and she likes magic, but the theorizing is just like a buzzing.
Yeah, I think at some point Cadriel just kind of follows her.
The two of you come upon, as you're just kind of exploring this mansion, you come upon this small courtyard where there is a magnificently crafted fountain where it depicts Gilmore lying almost like a mermaid on this porcelain like beach. He's carved out of marble, and he's just sort of like David and Goliath, like holding his hand out. But it's remarkably beautiful.
I think everything in here is a picture of him.
Probably.
Perception check, one of you.
I'll do it.
Or both of you, I should say. What am I doing? You can tell that my DM brain is struggling a little bit tonight. I apologize.
21.
How dare you?
27.
27. Okay. With a 27. Jesus, that's such a fucking high roll.
Whatever.
Roll
it
a
is,
19. I
see
have a
it.
+8.
You do see one door that does not look as lavish as all of the others. It looks rather plain. It is connected to this courtyard, and where all the other doors have some sort of filigree or, you know, beautiful enchantment or glowing bits, this one's just a simple wooden door.
Pointed out to Faraday. What do you think's in there?
Oh no. It's weird that it's not decorated.
You wanna?
I mean, if
Check
we're
it
not
out?
allowed to go into it, it'd be locked, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, doesn't have to stop us.
If it's locked, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Right.
Over to the
You-
door.
You approach the door.
Check for traps first.
Okay, go ahead and make me a investigation check.
15.
15, you sort of knock along the door frame. You don't hear or feel that there's anything out of the ordinary.
I don't think it's trapped. I don't see anything on it.
I don't know.
It is locked.
Pick out my lockpicks and just kind of look at Faraday.
I look over my shoulder. Are they still all nerding out about enchantments in the front hall?
You know what? Considering how in-depth that really got, yes. I would say yes, they are.
We'll just try it. If I can't get it open, then we'll just,
Just real quick.
you know. Yeah.
Real quick.
Okay. Sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand. Actually, it would be D20 plus your proficiency if you have proficiency with Thieves' Tools.
I do.
Plus your dex, I should say. So yeah,
Okay.
essentially sleight of hand.
Okay. Do you want me to roll sleight of hand or a d20 plus my dex?
Dude.
Okay.
Well, actually, that's a question. Do you have expertise in thieves' tools?
I don't know. I mean, I have proficiency in sleight of hand, and I have proficiency in thieves' tools.
If you have whatever it is, that thing that Kujo just said, then
Expertise.
you expertise, you double your proficiency mod when you're using thieves' tools.
Let's see. So I know that I have
Picking a lock is not a sleight of hand check. It's just convenient that the bonus ends up being the same.
Well, my sleight of hand is plus 12. If I'm just picking the lock, it is dexterity plus proficiency is plus 7.
Okay. I will say do the +7, just because it is a little bit different than a sleight of hand check. I apologize.
Uh, 11.
11. You stick the lockpick tools in, and you're confident that, I mean, this is like any other lock you've come across. And just as you think you get it, you feel it shift, almost as if the lock changes design. So it goes from a simple key lock to suddenly the
Wait,
inner mechanic shifts.
I have Gloves of Thievery. It says I get a plus 5 bonus to dexterity checks and dex checks made to pick locks.
God fucking damn it.
Sorry.
All right, so that was a 16 then.
So that is, yeah.
Okay. You
Which is my sleight of hand, by the way.
you focus a little bit, and just as you feel that satisfying click, you do see that the almost as a security measure, after you've already unlocked it, the doorknob and the lock do change, but the door is still unlocked.
I think I got it.
Just be quick.
I tighten my gloves a little bit, make sure they're
With our
nice and on and all.
alarm's gonna go off.
You
Douse us
open
in
the door.
glitter.
You open the door, and it leads to another small, personal little courtyard. It's not fancy. It essentially leads to this small clearing where there is grass, there's a few bushes. There is this small podium, almost like a bird bath. You see that there is red liquid. And placed a few feet behind it, you see a sort of column, and placed upon it is this piece of artwork that clearly shows Gilmore seated at his desk. And this is like a profile view, and you see an image of Vax'ildan sort of leaning across, looking at him with a smile on his face.
I recognize the red liquid that I've seen in the Temple of the Raven Queen before.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. You know what that is. Basically, this is an indication that Gilmore is attempting to get in touch with his religious side and still offer prayers to the Raven Queen and Vax'ildan every so often.
This is not really what I was expecting. They have this. This is a bit of a shrine to the Raven Queen and her champion.
They'll back out.
Yeah. I just linger for a moment and I'll grab my amulet and just kind of lean over the bowl. I won't touch it, but I'll just kind of send a little prayer / thought out to the Raven Queen, and specifically just I think of Vax and how he helped us, and just say thank you.
You send the thought out, and you kind of almost inwardly wish that something would just kind of, similar to before, get some sort of response, but You don't know how you can explain the feeling, but you know that it was received. As
Just
you are
like,
doing
okay,
that,
yeah.
in those few moments, Faraday, you do see that the conversation is dying down, and Gilmore turns and sees you standing in front of the door. And his bravado and his cheerfulness kind of fades a little. And he approaches. We'll say at this point, Cad, you just now step out of the room.
I look over to where Gilmore is looking and see the two of them.
Satisfied?
You know, Cad can. Is this the locked door?
Sorry,
We won't go
Gilmore.
poking.
Sure. As Cad, as you step out, he closes the door and murmurs an incantation, and you see the doorknob and the lock fade. So you just see a wooden door with no methods of entry.
If it makes any difference to you, Gilmore,
Does it?
I could see how much he cared about you when we told him that you were in trouble. When I told him you were in trouble.
I appreciate, and you can see that Pike is also kind of like looking from the back, and she's kind of got this, not worried look, but just knowing look, and he just says, "I appreciate your candor, but please allow me some pieces of privacy."
It wasn't our intention to stumble upon that.
It was to stumble upon something else. I'm
Just-
going to retreat to my chambers for the evening. I will be awake and alert for the beginning of our travel tomorrow morning. The rest of the mansion is yours. I wish you all good night. And you see he steps away. He actually turns, and connected to that main foyer area, there is, of course, the two spiraling purple and gold staircases that lead up to a second floor. And he starts making his way up there.
You guys know that we've been here like 20 minutes, right? You immediately go breaking into his stuff after he invited us into his home.
The one time I'm an asshole. Dermot. She'll just walk away.
Pike turns to Kali and says, "Think I saw like a training area over here. Let's go look." And just kind of like drags Kalia.
Thurston will just turn to Arathea and kind of mutter, "Do you think they did that at my house too?" Oh.
No,
I'd
she
like
knows.
to say no.
Jules knows all.
I think Jules would have said something.
True. Okay.
At least not. I didn't see anything. I think your
Would you-
sister dragged me into some odd, I don't know, alcove somewhere upstairs.
Oh,
But
yeah. That's her little, like, place that she liked to hide as a kid. But, like, you wouldn't typically see Cad if she was sneaking and breaking into something. That's the
No.
point.
last time she tried to sneak out, I saw her. Well, heard her step on a floorboard. No,
Was
I
she
think
drunk?
she's. I mean, I think she's
Was
just
she-
curious. She's not the type to stick her nose where it's clearly unwanted.
What were
She
you
kinda, like,
looking
looks
for
at the door.
anyway?
What were we looking for? Everything in this place is so up at the
Much?
top. And we saw a completely plain brown door. I just
And you
Just
saw
curious
that
what was
it
behind it.
was, and you saw that it was locked, and you said, I just want to know what's behind it, and damned for people clearly not wanting you to go snooping.
Kermit, you're taking an awfully high position here when I've seen you do similar asshole-ish things. I saw it, I was curious, I picked the lock. What more do you want from me?
For you to not do that?
Okay, well, it's done now. I did it. I'll walk away.
These little puppets dance. So, we have Thurston, Dermot, and Arthea in one part of the mansion. And we have Faraday and Cadriel. Let's say in your wandering, you do end up finding this circular communal bedroom. This thing is huge. You see several different king-size beds, each with the full upholstery with the little curtains. I don't know what it's called. But it's very beautiful, very welcoming. You see in the center there is a fire pit that's constantly going. The color of the flame continues to change from red to purple to blue. But yeah, I'll say that's where you end up finding yourselves. Is there anything else you guys wish to do for the evening?
Sir, no, sir.
I will spend a considerable amount of time just wandering the mansion, exploring.
Okay. You see
Not
that
picking any locks, but
you see that this place has everything. Sorry, I totally was about to go into Stefan from SNL. It's got, a beautiful garden. It's got a what looks like a theater of some kind. It's got everything, any possible room that you could imagine this place having. It's almost as if it's like reading your mind, and then it presents itself to you. But yeah, it's seemingly never ending, and yet constantly has this feeling of home.
Once I find the garden, I'll probably just set up there and just hang out and enjoy it.
Okay. Faraday, what were you gonna say?
When I find the bedroom, I will pick a bed at random and close the curtains on it. Lay down, shed armor, shed shield, shed the coat I've been wearing for like 6 weeks. And
Stands on its own.
yeah, pretty much. And hesitantly for a second, take a breath, and then take off the amulet. Just to test the theory.
Moment goes by. Another moment goes by. You still have this feeling of anxiety, but nothing seems to trigger or reach out. It's just uneasy quiet.
Okay. She'll put it back on and then sleep.
All right. Cadriel, anything you wish to do? You had wandered off as well. Do you also just find one of the beds, or
Find a bed, close the curtains, don't bother with anybody else.
okay? Thurston, this beautiful, lavish mansion lies open to you.
No, he genuinely just wants to get some rest and more mentally prepared for the trek back home. So he's not gonna go poking around.
All right, sounds good. Arthea, same idea.
I think she will actually do a little bit of exploring, but probably head the same direction as Dermot,
Okay.
since she's going to trance, and being outdoors but actually safe sounds really nice.
Arthea, you do eventually come upon Dermot, who's setting. I assume you're setting up your bunk, your sleeping bag, and all that stuff.
No.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
I mean, she'll set up a sleeping bag, but more of the, I don't want to get things more dirty than they already are.
That's fair.
It's more just something to sit on.
As you both are in the garden, you just instinctively look up as you get it's outside. It feels like outside, but I know it's not. And you look up and you can see, without any light pollution, the beautiful astral sea above you. Just covered in stars and distant moons and planets, and it's spellbinding, to say the least.
You think if you built a ship, Dermot, you could go up there?
Cujo,
Yes.
there are things that I know that relate to that topic in question. Is there something you'd like me to roll to determine if Dermot has any of that same type of knowledge?
Make me an Arcana check.
Uh, 17.
It could be that you have been studying this book cover to cover for quite some time, and thus the way that you think about magic kind of has shifted a little bit. So to the point where you started thinking about, how much would go into a particular enchantment, right? That's the whole idea with Artificer.
Well, I was thinking more like, has that already done before?
That you know of?
By other races, or like the Githyanki and that sort of thing.
I'd say for the 17, I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
I'd say you don't quite know.
I'm not sure. I imagine, at least in theory, it could be done.
I was thinking about it when we were
The
on the
astral sea, like any other sea, just needs a proper ship with the proper sails. You just have to figure out what material those sails should be made of.
I feel like that would be really fun. And she looks sort of embarrassed.
It would certainly be interesting. An adventure, if ever there was one.
Maybe for the next adventure.
Yeah, I was kind of looking forward to having an empty dance card, and it seems that things are always being piled on.
Well, we have 2 weeks of what should hopefully not be constant running from death. So,
I don't know if your friend has it the way that she wants it, then that may change.
Dad?
A locked door typically means, hey, don't go in here. It's not typically an invitation of, hey, come on in.
Well,
And you saw how Gilmore reacted.
yes, and I'm not saying that I would personally, well, I wouldn't be able to do it, honestly, but can understand the curiosity. She didn't mean
Mhm.
anything. She didn't mean anything by it. And it's done now. Can't take it back.
Well, I only hope that she can learn from a good scolding. Although I highly doubt that only a scolding would do much to convince her otherwise.
Mm,
Doesn't seem that type.
I think in general, scolding doesn't work as well as people think it does. Generally, when people do things, they already know they're wrong.
And yet,
Well, you know you're wrong after the fact. I'm not saying while you're doing it. It seems like good. It seems like a good idea at the time. After the fact, sometimes, well, it wasn't. And if you're very lucky, then, well, you can not do that thing again. If you're unlucky, it could end up a lot worse.
well, I sincerely hope that Cat is lucky for all our sakes.
She's
I sincerely doubt Thurston would take too kindly to going back to sleeping in the and then looking up again the real outdoors.
I don't think any of us want to maybe go back to that anytime soon. She's gonna settle back. You know, hands under her head.
Right. The evening passes. Dermot, do you eventually go and find a bed, or do you just chill in the garden?
I probably fall asleep in the garden, just enjoying the atmosphere, but I don't set up my bedroll or anything.
Okay.
I probably just happen to wake up the next morning still in the garden, having not left.
Sounds good.
Like a log for a pillow. Curled up with a garden gnome.
You mean the way I grew up?
Yep.
Thurston, Faraday, and Cadriel. Mark down that you have a d6 of inspiration, as you are the most well-rested you have felt in a very long time, sleeping in some enchanted beds. It lasts... I'm just going to keep it as a player inspiration token. So it lasts until you use it.
Cool.
Morning does find you, mostly in the form of these translucent air elementals sort of whispering, "Good morning." It sounds a little creepy at first. And then Gilmore pops in the broom just with his head and goes, "I'm sorry, I'm working on re-recording the voices. I'm sorry, I know it's a little offsetting. Breakfast is already downstairs if you would like. Yes, don't
Does
linger
it
too
sound as much like Vecna as the voice you just did?
long." No, it sounds breathy.
Because if it
sounds...
does, it's getting a sword swung at it.
No, it sounds breathy. It doesn't sound like it has any personality behind it. It's like the one flaw in the whole thing is that the good morning is this creepy good morning.
What the fuck? Who does that?
Oh, that's, I've been woken up in some strange ways. I think that may be the strangest.
Just like struggling with the curtains around her bed, like she was already like halfway up before she actually woke up and realized what was going on.
Yeah, Cat's like probably tangled in her blankets.
No.
Falls out of it.
Arthea and Dermot, Dermot, I think you still sleep for a full 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Arthea, as you are sort of resting, enjoying the atmosphere. You see one of the air elemental spirits float from inside the mansion to you. It says, breakfast is served.
Okay. Just tries to give like a
You see it slowly drift away from you blowing at it. You see it impact and it just starts floating through the air before it lands back down and continues back into the mansion.
I make one of these, I think I'm gonna find something a little different.
But you all meet back up in the dining hall, which is this fit for a king. This huge room with stained glass windows that have the morning sun shining through. There is an enchanted orchestra that is playing some light and bright music. As there is just this long table filled with all different kinds of food. Gilmore is wearing a smoking jacket with some nice pants and some slippers. Of course, they're fluffy slippers. And his hair is tied back and he's got reading glasses on as he is reading through some of his books and welcomes you all in. Welcome. Breakfast was just finished being made, so by all means, dig in.
Fairdale sit.
Yeah, I'll grab a plate, however is appropriate, if it's just plated on the tables or if there's like a buffet station or however I get food, and I sit down next to Faraday.
You just see platters of all different kinds of breakfast foods all lined against each other. There are already table settings set up for everybody. Pike and Kalia emerge from the training grounds. Pike's hair is a little bit of a mess. And she's got some clear bruising and some light scratches, as Kalia also looks to be a little bit beat up. And they both just sit next to each other. And Pike just kind of, as she's grabbing some pieces of bacon, just kind of goes, "All right, that was a cool fight last night." And Kalia says, "Agreed." And then they fist bump.
Is that where you two disappeared off to?
Yeah, we kind of kicked the crap out of each other. It was really nice. Bit of a change, really. And Kalia says, "She is a lot more dangerous than you think."
I have no doubt that a member of the Dawn Marshals would be highly dangerous.
Pike just goes, Gilmore says, "I figured we can get some good food in us and then begin our journey. Anything we need to do while still in the mountain?"
No.
Right.
Not that I'm aware of.
Wonderful. Sounds great. But yes, you guys all enjoy your meal. You'll feel well rested. And Gilmore eventually leads everybody outside of the mansion door, which then opens back up into the shop itself. This time, you do see the half-elven woman behind the counter who just sort of looks up. She's got a small novel or something in her hand. She just sort of waves as you guys all step outside. You turn, and Gilmore mutters something, and the door disappears. Shall we?
Let's.
All right.
Let's go.
Where were they?
Right.
Where'd you guys? Are the horses waiting for us?
There,
Yeah, we put them in the place that Gilmore totally told us to put them behind the shop.
yeah. A little light improv on those moments I'm fine with. Help me, please. But yeah, the 2 carts and the horses are behind the shop. You gather your material, your belongings, all the supplies. You get on the carts and you set off on your journey. And I think I'm going to call it there. It's a little bit of an early end, but I think I'm going to call it there for the moment. And
Planning how he's going to kill us next time. I
of
see.
course.
Gotcha.
Yeah, duh.
Before we finish,
Yes.
I assume it's because it's been a month since we left that it's warmer outside. Like it's actually like
It
full
is
on
warm.
spring.
It's
Yes,
like
it is.
April, basically. Actually, it's almost end of April.
Okay.
Let me check it.
Faraday definitely sheds her like.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not wearing like the winter like the winter clothes that we had going in the mountains, but like the coat she normally wears, she is shed, and you can see like the blood hunter scars, the hemocraft scars.
She's still winter.
She's still winter, but you can see the scars on her arms.
That's so goddamn cute. I love that.
She feels a little more emboldened seeing Kalia.
Kalia will take notice and just give an approving nod. She doesn't say anything, but she'll just notice and kind of smirk a little bit. And that's what we were going to call tonight. We got some inter-party conflict, maybe? I don't know. But to everybody who tuned in, thank you so much. We love you. Be nice to each other. And we will see you next week. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.